and welcome to the Meditation with Josie podcast. My name is Josie, and I will be your guide through your meditation journey today and every day after. Okay, I'm so happy to see you here today. Go ahead and hop into something comfy and sit or lay down, however you feel most comfortable. We're going to start with our eyes open or closed, however you'd like to do it. Meditation is all about what makes you feel good, so you don't need to worry about impressing me or impressing anyone else around you. If you're doing these meditations alone, you don't even have to worry about impressing yourself. So, today's meditation is the happy place. And we're going to talk a little bit about what the happy place is and why it's important. When we are working in trauma, working obviously in our own trauma, we can sometimes get launched back into traumatic situations. This is called post-traumatic stress disorder or PTSD. It's almost like reliving the whole situation over and over again. If this is something that you experienced, it's probably a good sign that you actually struggle with PTSD or have had a traumatic event in your life. So, what can we do to combat PTSD? For those of us that have experienced really intense moments of PTSD, it can be hard to regulate yourself and to come out of that. I'm going to give you some skills today that you can use in order to escape the back part of your brain that is the home of your trauma and move you back into the front part of your brain where we've been practicing things like, I am safe, I am okay, I will survive this, I am healing, right? Things like this were in the front of our brain. Even if they sound like lies, they are the reality in the front of our brain. If you take note of where you are right now, you are probably sitting or laying down in a place where you feel safe. But when we're experiencing PTSD, we don't feel safe. We are stuck in the back of our brains in that trauma response. So, last week, we talked about tapping. And in fact, we even did an exercise with tapping where we put some anger into our container. So, the science behind tapping is super fascinating. I explained it a little bit in past podcasts, but I'm going to go ahead and explain it again. It's called bilateral stimulation. You are stimulating both sides of your brain, and this is actually helping you escape the trauma response of your brain. It's helping you escape the back of your brain and bring you forward. This is a skill used in EMDR therapy, a therapy which is super trauma focused, where you help heal traumas by literally going back to that moment and changing it for yourself, taking control of the situation so that you no longer have a traumatic response when you think about it. We're going to be tapping today, and we are going to be experiencing the 5 different senses. I'm going to guide you through this. You are going to discover your happy place, and then we are going to practice using this happy place to get out of our trauma response. Now, before we get into that, I want to explain what a trauma response looks like. Sometimes things trigger our trauma responses without us even knowing. You could be at the grocery store and someone cuts you off with a cart and you get far more worked up about it than you think is reasoned. That's probably because you were triggered in some way to a past traumatic event. These traumatic events kind of are like shadows in our brain. We are aware of them subconsciously, and sometimes they can creep up into our conscious actions and activities in our conscious world. And so what we want to do when that happens to us is regulate, get out from the back of our brain into the front, and take note of what's happening in the moment. Now, this doesn't mean that you can't get pissed off sometimes, doesn't mean that you can't get angry. My last podcast was literally about how it's okay to get angry. So I'm not asking you to suppress your feelings. That's not at all what these meditations are here for. These meditations are to help you understand and then accurately control your feelings and emotions, because they all come from somewhere. So let's get into our happy place meditation. We're going to start by tapping again. I'm going to tap, and I'd like you to follow along. I want you to be sitting or laying down wherever you feel comfortable. Right hand on right knee, left hand on left knee, or crossing your arms across your chest, tapping left arm with right hand and left hand to right arm. Okay? Either one of those will work. And for now, those are the two that I'm going to advise you to use. In the future, we can use other techniques that stimulate this bilateral stimulation. But for now, just to make it easy, this is what we're going to do. Okay, here we go tapping. Go ahead and take a deep breath in. Exhale. Follow along with me. Give me another breath in. Out. Okay. Go ahead and close your eyes. And now I would like you to think of a place. It can be a real place, it can be a made-up place. It could be in the middle of a forest. It could be at the side of a lake. It could be at the bottom of the ocean. It could be in outer space. Wherever you are, I want you to take note of the things that you see around you. What colors do you observe? Are there plants around you? Is there maybe a blanket that looks soft? I would like you to list internally 3 colors that you observe. Now 3 objects. Very good. Next, I want you to take note of what you smell. Maybe there's flowers around you. Maybe there's a creek and it smells crisp in the air. Maybe there's a fire crackling that you can smell the wood burning. Speaking of crackling, is there anything you can hear? Can you hear wind? Can you hear water? Next, I'd like you to take note of 3 things that you can feel. Maybe you're barefoot on some hardwood floor or barefoot on the grass. Maybe you bend down and touch cold water. Maybe you feel the bark of a tree. Whatever it is, 3 things. Take note. Next, what can you taste? Maybe there's a snack with you. Or maybe there's maple syrup coming from a tree. Or cold water. Maybe some edible flowers. can you taste? Now that we have observed things that we see, hear, touch, smell, and taste, I want you to just take a moment and be here. Enjoy the feeling of being here. You are totally safe here. You're alone. It is your own paradise. Now that you have a good understanding of your happy place, whenever you feel ready, you can stop tapping. You can open your eyes. And I want you to take note of your feelings. How do you feel? Do you feel calmer after having stayed there for a while? The next time you're experiencing stress or any kind of traumatic response or any kind of negative feeling, I want you to, on a scale from 1 to 10, rate how you feel before going to your happy place. 1 being, I feel like crap, and 10 being, ooh, I'm on cloud 9. Then I want you to go to your happy place, stay there for as long as you need, tapping, and then rate afterwards on a scale from 1 to 10, same scale, how you feel. Hopefully, after having meditated in your happy place, you will be better than you were prior. So if you came into today's meditation feeling a little bit stressed, I want you to take note. Do you feel the same amount of stress, or do you feel calm? This is something that I want you to practice throughout the week. In fact, I'd like you to practice going to your happy place every single day, tapping and going there every single day. And I want you to take note of all of your senses: sight, sound, smell, taste, and touch. I want you to walk through all of your senses and then stay there for a while and see if you feel better just in general, even if you haven't had a negative emotion that day, or even if you've had a great day and you don't feel bad at all. I want you to practice doing this every single day because it's good for you and it helps reiterate this knowledge that you are okay. Whatever crap is thrown your way, it will be okay. Please repeat after me. I am okay. I am okay. Remember to practice self-love every single day. Be gentle with yourself. Forgive yourself. There is no strength in being mad at yourself. And spite is not a good motivator. Thank you for joining me on this episode of the Meditation with Josie podcast. I am so proud of the work that you've done today, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye.